Okay, perfect. This week's session, like I said before, is called Changing Your Story. I kind of feel that in order for us to make sense of life, we tell stories. We use stories to explain ideas, events, to inspire people, or even minimize a mistake that we've made. We create stories ultimately, whether consciously or unconsciously, to achieve a desired outcome. I had a bad trait of showing up to, let's say, events where you don't have a set start point, where it's like, really like a hard start. Like a reservation's a hard start. But friends would say, yeah, we're getting together around 3, and I'd always be late. And I'd always have a story ready. Oh, the traffic was bad. Oh, I had to clean the dishes. I forgot I had to clean the dishes beforehand. When my business wasn't going so well a few years ago, I also had a story about why that was so. I'm not great at sales. I just don't want to push people. I feel like I need to get myself ready. I'm not good enough at coaching just yet. Whatever it is, we all have a story about why we are the way we are and where we are in our life. And you even have a story for why you're on this call. If you want to test the theory, if you had a friend that says to you tomorrow, "Oh, you went to that call last night. Why'd you go?" You will have straight away a reason, and you'll tell it in the form of a story. Now, the question that we're going to explore today is, what's the story that you're currently telling yourself about your capabilities, your skills, your strengths, your weaknesses, and ultimately where you feel you're going in life? What's that story that you're telling yourself? One of the first things that I learned when I worked with a mindset coach is I showed up and I had chronic fatigue syndrome, which I'd had for 17 years. I was on 5 different prescriptions. I was always one relationship to the next, could never really get very far, never had any money. And I hopped on the call and I just started telling her why these things were true. And she just looked at me and was like, "What? What are you doing?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "Why are you trying to convince me not to believe that you can succeed?" I'm like, "No, no, no. I'm just trying to tell you, yeah, you're trying to tell me that you're limited, that you are not going to succeed, and that you have all these struggles. Tell me about why you're here and why you know that working together is going to be great and what you're going to get out of it." And she would not let me tell any stories about how bad things were or anything. I thought she was being mean. But what ultimately our stories do is they create our sense of belief. If you don't want to believe in yourself, tell yourself a story about why you can't. Tell yourself all the reasons why you can't win, the limitations that you have. You want to win in life, you want to do the things that you really want to do. Tell yourself a story about why you can. How you've got so much love to give, you've got so much passion, that you are smart, that you do care about other people, whatever it is. If you tell yourself a story, you're going to have a story for why you can or why you can't. And whichever one is the dominant one, that's going to be the one that hogs the conversation. That's going to be the one that sets your level of belief, and that's going to impact your life. So today, we're going to do a little bit of work on changing that story and helping ourselves create something that's positive, something that's inspiring. And I can tell you this, after working, I spent $20,000 plus, me and my parents, 17 years, psychologist, naturopaths, everything, you name it, I did it. Working with her 3 months, worked, I've been sick in the last 8 years about 5 times, got off all the prescriptions, and suddenly I was healthy. I was able to work full time. I was able to do everything, got into the relationship that I want, got married only a couple of months ago. I know that this works. And I can see when I talk to someone straight away about the stories they're telling themselves, whether they're going to win or not. And I can tell whether someone's going to win by the stories that they're telling. So let's get into this. If you haven't already, grab a pen and paper. You can write as a title Mindset Mondays, Changing Your Story. And if you want, you can put the date, which right now is the 17th of the 8th, 2026. But we're going to jump into the first part. Question number one. Question number one is, I want you to write down one thing that you want right now, and it could be a goal, it could be a desired emotional state. I want you to go with what feels really good, what comes to your mind when you think about what it is that you want. And you can answer this by writing number one, what I want most right now is. What I want most right now is. Could be anything. What I want right now most is to have a house by the end of the year, to be able to run a marathon, to look in the mirror and like myself, whatever it is for you. And if you need to, just take a deep breath out, relax your body. Don't go with what you think you should say logically, go with what emotionally you feel. That's what I want right now. For me, the first thing I wrote down was I just want to be healthy. And you can make it specific as much as you want, add to it whatever you want. My goal now is end of the year to have a house with my partner, and it's very specific. It's a three-bedroom townhouse that's in a certain area. It's got a double car garage and a small backyard. But if you've just got a couple, one sentence, that's fine. All right, beautiful. And once you've got something, if everyone could just give me a thumbs up, either as an emoji or just on screen. Hannah, thanks. Saskia, Debbie, Jenny, Sasha, awesome, amazing. All right, let's go on to number two. Number two, I want you to write down how you would currently describe your journey towards this want, like it's a story. Imagine that you're telling the story, and you can start by writing my story of going after my want currently is. What's the story that you're telling yourself, that you tell other people? If someone comes up to you and says, how are you going working on that? What's the story that you tell them? No judgment, just complete curiosity. Let whatever comes out come out. There's no wrong answer here. And throughout this, just take deep breaths. If emotions come up, let them come up. And if you're struggling, when I first wrote this, it was I have a good week, then I have a bad week. I just can't seem to get well completely. Doesn't seem to matter what I do, I always end up in the same place. Again, we're not judging ourselves, we're just being curious. Right, excellent. If you want to leave some room under that to add to it later, I find it really helpful to go through this again and just read what I've written before and then add to it. But we'll move on to question number three. I want you to think about what you've written and imagine that you could inject personality traits into yourself like a writer would into the main character of a movie. I want you to imagine that that's the movie, that's how it's going, and the montage is about to start. You know, the emotional impact's kicking in, and right now you're like, yes, you know what? This is not what I want anymore. I want it to go how I want it to go. I want to step into my power. I want to believe in myself. What personality traits would you love to see you as the main character of your movie start embodying? And I want you to dot point them. You can write number three, the traits I would love to see. The traits I would love to see myself embody in this story are. And then write them down. What are they? What are the traits? Maybe it's unwavering self-belief. Maybe it's certainty in self. Maybe it's a skill, becoming an excellent coach, a diligent exerciser. What are the traits? Again, just take a deep breath at any point. For me, one of them was the ability to start what I start and finish it. Oh, that was a big one. Right, amazing. Perfect. And just notice as you're writing these down, just noticing if there's any energy within you, any emotions that are coming up, that's fine. Just noticing them. And if you want, leave some lines you can add to this later. I highly recommend that you do. And that's why it's really helpful to write the first part because then you don't even need the question. You can just add to it. Number four, I want you to imagine that the personality traits that you just wrote down are now yours. That's how you show up in the world from now on. How does the story of going after your want change for you? And you can write number four. Now I see myself this way. My story towards my want is now. And then write it. What's the story now? Now that you have these traits, this is who you are. For me, it was the story of a man who overcome all these health issues and became vibrantly healthy, loving, fit, and successful. What is it for you? You've got all those traits. Imagine they're yours. What is the story now? If it's easy to answer, that's good. If it's hard to answer, that's even better. I had no answer for this question when my coach asked me. Now I've got great answers. And throughout, just keep taking deep breaths whenever you need to. Amazing. And again, if you want to leave some lines underneath to add to later, highly recommend. Just taking a moment to finish writing whatever you're writing. And last question for today, number five. I want you to imagine that this is now how your life is going. And a friend asked you, how are you going? Just in a general thing where someone comes up to you, one of your friends, you haven't seen them for a while, and now you're crushing it, you're doing what you want to do. How would you respond? And you can write number 5. Right now, things are. Remember, you have the traits. This is, you're succeeding in the ways that you want to. Your friend is asking you, how are you? 6 months down the track, maybe. And you can answer, right now, things are. Write about how you're feeling, things that you're doing, whatever comes up. For me, it was, I feel great. Things are finally going the way that I want. My body's healthy, my mind feels good. Just have fun with it. Put in whatever comes up for you. It doesn't just have to be about your want. It can be about other things too. Whatever comes up for you. Have fun with it. All right. Well done, guys. Just taking a moment to finish up writing whatever you're writing. And if you want to, in the chat, feel free to just put one word or maybe a couple words for how you're feeling right now. And you can put whatever. You might be confused. That's okay. First time I did these kind of exercises, I had no idea what was going on. The first thing I felt was confused but excited. But just take a moment for people to finish up. And yeah, you don't have to write in the chat, but if you want to, go for it. Debbie, hopeful, excellent. Rose, positive. Definitely seen a big shift in you over the last few months, Rose. Love seeing it. Show up every week. And you keep putting the work in. It's great. In our WhatsApp group, yeah, Rose keeps crushing it. Jenny, calm, excellent. Zoran, confident. Tara, deep personal fulfillment, excellent. Lighter, Ian. That's great. That's great. Mind is thinking possibilities, excellent. Dineshi, hopeful, love it. All right, amazing. Saskia, magical. I like that. All right, guys. Now we're going to jump into our meditation slash visualization. So just take a moment, and if you need to, just stretch out. Do whatever you need to do. We're going to be seated for 10 minutes. And if you're uncomfortable, it's not fun. So just stretch out, shake your arms. And if you want to, honestly, the journaling part I find is the hardest part for everyone. So you're still here. Well done. Give yourself a pat on the back. You're going through the work. Give yourself a pat on the back. Like literally physically reach around and do it. It feels good to, it's like giving yourself a high five in the mirror, I feel. Vicky, resilient. Love that. All right, amazing. All right, so just take a moment to get yourself nice and comfortable. I'm going to put some music on for us to meditate to. Just taking a moment to find yourself into the space and just do any last bodily adjustments you need to feel nice and relaxed. And just slowly feel yourself becoming still. Keeping your back as straight as you can, your head up nice and straight. And I want you to just take a breath in through your nose. Deep breath in, nice, long and slow, all the way in. Feel yourself slowing down. Breathe out through the mouth. Feel yourself relax into it. Take another deep breath in through your nose, all the way in, nice and slow. Feel yourself slowing down, becoming more present. Breathe out through the mouth. And if you haven't already, just taking this moment to close your eyes. Feel yourself arriving into this space. Feel yourself letting go of all other thoughts and bringing your attention completely to the music and my voice. Giving yourself permission to be fully present, to have no expectations of yourself. There's no judgment here, only curiosity. And take a deep breath into that. And as you breathe out, feel yourself relax completely into it. And what we're going to do to start this meditation off is we're going to do some really deep breathing. We're going to breathe in all the way in through our nose, with every breath in, feeling like our whole body is expanding, with every breath out through our mouth, feeling ourselves deflate. We'll do 10 rounds of this. It'll be quite quick. And on the 10th inhale, we'll hold for 10 seconds, breathe out through our mouth, hold for 10 seconds. I'll guide you through this. We'll take our first inhale through the nose in 3, 2, 1. Breathe in, big breath in. Breathe out, all the way out. Breathe in, all the way in, and really expand. Breathe out, all the way out. Breathe in, all the way in. Breathe out, all the way out. Breathe in, really deep. Breathe out, let yourself relax. Breathe in, all the way in. Breathe out, all the way out. Breathe in, all the way in. Breathe out, all the way out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in all the way in and hold. Just sitting in the stillness. Let yourself relax. No pressure. And let it out, all the way out with a big sigh, out through your mouth. And hold again. Enjoying the stillness. And take a big deep breath in 3, 2, 1. Let it out through your mouth with a sigh. Just letting your body relax. Noticing how it feels. And in your mind right now, I want you to imagine that you're sitting in a movie theater by yourself. You're sitting right in the middle of the whole theater. And I want you to imagine there's 2 screens, one on the left, one on the right. And on the left, you see there's a movie that starts to play. It's the movie of how your life is right now. You can see yourself going about your days. And I want you to just take 20 or 30 seconds and watch what you're doing on a normal day from this outside perspective. And in the scene, you can now see yourself talking with someone. Maybe it's a friend, family member, anyone. And you can hear the conversation. You're watching it, you can hear it. I want you to notice what it is that you're saying to this person about your dreams, your goals, your struggles, your challenges, the stories that you're telling. Just take 15 seconds to hear the stories you're telling them. And as you're watching this movie, you're hearing these stories, just notice how you feel about watching this. No judgment, just curiosity, just noticing how you feel. And I want you to imagine at this point that you're in the theater. I want you to imagine that a couple of people that you're close to come in and sit down beside you. Maybe some family, friends. See the theater slowly filling up with all the people that you know. Looking around, you can see their faces. You can see them smiling at you. They look excited. And the movie on the left goes completely blank. There's a beautiful energy in the crowd of excitement. And on the right, another movie starts playing. And this is the movie of you going after your goals, your wants, being the star of the movie that is your life. I want you to see yourself going about your goals, your wants, how you would love to see yourself go about them. Watch that movie for the next 20 seconds. Take a big, deep breath in, deep breath out. And you can feel the energy of all the people around you. They want to see you win. They're loving seeing this movie of you going about it. You can see your friends, family smile. And on the screen, you can see yourself talking with one of your friends, a loved one. And you're having a conversation about how you're succeeding, what you've been doing. And on the screen, you can see yourself telling your friend how you've been able to succeed like this. And as you're hearing what you're saying, take a deep breath in all the way in through your nose. Big deep breath. Feel the energy in your body as you breathe out. And on the screen, you can see the scene where you have achieved your want. It's the moment you got the house, you got the relationship, you looked in the mirror and loved yourself, whatever it is. It's that moment. And you can see it being played out in front of you, and everyone in the theater is cheering. You can feel them patting you on the back as you're watching. They're smiling, laughing joyously. Maybe even some of them are crying happy tears because they're so happy for you. Take a deep breath into that feeling. Deep breath out. And slowly you see the screen on the right go blank. The lights come on in the theater, and you can see all your friends, family standing up. One by one, they say how amazing it is what you've done, how proud they are of you, how inspirational what you've done is, all the challenges you overcome. They now want to go out and live their best life as well. And you realize this goal's not just for you, it's for everyone around you to inspire them, to give them something to hope for as well. And you feel this beautiful sense of, I want my goal. I want to be the person who I want to be. And you can, as you can see everyone leave the cinema and you're just sitting there by yourself in your mind, I want you to repeat after me. Hear yourself say it in your mind, loud and proud. I have the power to choose how my story goes. I am the creator of my own reality. I am capable of doing what's needed to succeed. I love doing what's needed to succeed. I feel so grateful now that I'm living the way I've always wanted to. I get to choose the story I tell myself every day. I love myself fully. I believe in myself fully. I can do this. One more time. I know I can do this. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Feel your body expand with all the beautiful energy of everything in today's meditation. Breathe out through your mouth and let the image of the theater go as you feel yourself come back into your body, right where you're seated right now. Bring this beautiful energy, this motivation, this desire to be the creator of your own reality. Just bring with you the motivation or the feeling within that you want to change how your story goes and that you're going to do whatever's required. And just take a deep breath into that. Deep breath out. And with one more deep breath in through your nose and deep breath out, you can gently and slowly open your eyes. Well done and welcome back. Great work, guys. And just taking a moment now to do whatever you need to do. If you need to write something down, go ahead and do it. If you need to move your body, go ahead and do it. I want to thank you all for coming today, bringing great energy, doing these activities. And I'm going to say it not just for myself, but I want to say it for every single person who is in your life right now. If you're here on this call, you are actively working to become the best version of yourself, more loving, more caring, more passionate, more strong, emotionally capable, whatever it is. And I'm not just thankful that you're here, everyone in your life is thankful that you're here, especially the person that every single one of you is going to look at in the mirror today when you brush your teeth and get ready to go to bed. When you look in the mirror today, you'll be able to look in and say, yeah, I showed up for 35 minutes and worked on myself. And that's something to really be proud of. So thank you so much for coming along today. If you do want to join our WhatsApp group and help, I don't know, bring the vibes for the challenges that we do every week, I'm just going to post a link. If you want to donate to the PayPal to help pay for the meetup fees, please do so. And if you also want to leave a review or an anonymous review on Microsoft Forms, there's a link there as well. The one thing I do ask from people is that when they go back into Meetup, if you could give this an honest review, when you go back in, they'll say, did you go? Was it any good? If you could leave an honest review, I would really appreciate it. That's how I've been able to get to so many people. And like I say every week, if you guys keep showing up, I will keep showing up. We've been going for 3.5 years. I've only missed two. One was for a birthday and one was for Christmas. I will keep doing it. I love doing this. I love the messages I receive from everyone who keeps coming regularly and the changes and shifts that it creates. Um, I do truly believe there's only two ways that people change. The first one is an emotional impact. Like when a smoker has a heart attack or you get fired and you realize you're nearly out of money. But the second way is constant spaced repetition. We are literally the product of whatever thoughts we have going through our mind every single day. And doing things like this, it's 35 minutes of positivity. That's what it is. And if you show up and you do it consistently, guess what? It wins out in the end. I am not saying that because I think that, it's a nice idea. I'm doing it because every time I've tried to create some substantial, difficult change in my life, which has seemed to all odds impossible to everyone around me, that has been what's done it. The constant spaced repetition of ideas. Not just once, every day. So if there's something that you would like to take from today, it would be that. It's not going to be the story that you tell yourself today that changes your life or tomorrow. It's going to be the story that you tell yourself for the next 3 months. I know it sounds like a little bit of responsibility, but you've got the tools now. You can do this exercise every day for a couple of weeks and it'll shift something. And then I won't have to prove it to you, it'll prove itself to you. Now, the way that it works is if you want to jump off and head on to the night, amazing. I appreciate your time and energy. If you want to stay on here, I open it up to you guys and you can either share a question, a takeaway that you would like to, say something that came up for you in the session, or an insight. I believe that we're all teachers and we're all students. I am definitely not someone who knows all about this topic, and I know that everyone on this call probably has some valuable insight that could help someone else on this call understand the concept better. And I would love for you to share that. So I'm going to go one by one with you guys. I've just got to find the button to help let you guys unmute now. There we go. And we'll start first. I'll go with the people with the cameras on. First up, we've got Andrea and then we've got Saskia. I really hope I've been getting that right, Saskia. Oh, pretty good. Yeah. Awesome. Go for it, Andrea.
Um, yeah, I think I've been first for about 4 weeks in a row now. I think Zoom must do it alphabetically. That's all right. Um, yeah, I was going to say I actually thought of something right back when you were still talking about the little bit at the front, and I thought that I've actually been like I spent a few years telling myself the story of all the crap that happened to me and the bullying at work and the burnout and all that sort of stuff. And then I sort of started trying to, not just tell all that sort of stuff and starting to tell, what I'm wanting and what I'm trying to do and what I'm aiming for and stuff. And I don't know, it's a bit of a chicken and egg thing, but as I'm telling, a story that's, that about how I'm thinking I'm more capable of it, I'm also at the same time I'm doing it. So I think it's probably working.
I was about to say,
But
Andrew,
I'm a
your transformation, the way that you show up on these calls over the last 2, 3 months, very similar to Rose. I've seen like a consistent every week. There's a new part
okay.
of you that shows up, and openness
Yeah,
to the
there's been
idea, but also capability and less resistance, more, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, well, there's been these calls, and sometime around at the same time as the first couple I came to, there was a couple of other things online I did that were sort of vaguely similar. And yeah, somewhere in amongst those, a couple of things clicked, and it's been really useful. So,
Oh, that's so amazing to hear.
but it's,
It's really that constant spaced repetition. It's the way I like to think of it is we have a belief in our mind that's stuck there and it's like I am this way. And we want to shift that. We don't want to believe that because it's not helpful. It's not about whether it's right or
mm,
wrong. It's does this help me make good choices and do the things that I could and give it a shot? Or does this hinder me? That's the only question. It doesn't matter whether it's
mm,
right, wrong, or whatever. It's is it helpful or is it not helpful? That's the only
mm,
question I like to answer.
yeah,
But when we're trying to shift something, I always like to think our conscious mind's only in charge 5% of the time. Our
mm,
subconscious in charge 95%. So that's like one person trying to convince 20 people of something to do. And if you show up the first time, you're going to be like, yeah, we can do it. Those 20 people who've got all the experiences over the last however long you've been alive, they're going to say, no, remember this time when this happened, this time. If you show up every day and you keep coming up with better arguments, that's what it is when you do the constant. You show up and you
mm,
go, yeah, we can do this because remember when we were 10 years old, how we walked up and we told that boy off. And they're like, oh, yeah,
mm,
actually, you're right. We can do this because remember that time when we nearly didn't finish high school and we got through it. And suddenly after a while, your subconscious starts going, you know what? This guy's got a point. Maybe we can do it. And then once that happens, that's when things start shifting. Then you don't have to force yourself anymore because your subconscious is
mm,
on board. But that's where the constant spaced repetition of an idea.
mm,
So that's what you've been
mm,
doing, Andrea, and it seems to be
mm.
working.
I've also got this contrary part of me that sort of says, that I'm doing something that's difficult, and a lot of people would probably think it wasn't hard. And then, there's a lot of things that I'm not, that aren't going necessarily right. That a lot of
Yeah.
people would say might. And
And
I'm
they
thinking,
will be
I'm
there.
going,
They will
I'm
be
thinking,
there.
I'm going to prove that I can do this, whether I get this help I'm supposed to get or not. I'm going to do it anyway and prove that
Yeah.
I
That's
can.
how it works. That's how it works, Andrea. It's like
Mm,
you literally get one or two parts of your subconscious mind on board, and over time you still have the,
mm,
10 parts that are against you. But over time, if you keep showing up, eventually because they're not getting any like they're not being fed. Those ideas are no longer getting fed. The I
mm,
can do this is the one that's getting fed. The other ones just die from lack of nourishment and eventually
yeah.
it just takes over. So just keep doing the work and you'll keep making progress.
Yeah, well, for the reason I mean, keep doing the work and keep showing up. That's the reason why I'm sitting here doing this in my car down on the other end of town that I live, because I went out to a geocaching event and
Nice. I like the
then
commitment.
figured, well, I'm
Yeah.
not going to make it home before it starts. I'll sit here and do it in the car.
Excellent work, Andrew. Love it. Love it. All right. We'll move on next to Saskia. Go for it, Saskia, if you want to unmute yourself. You don't have to as well if you don't want to share. That's completely as fine as well. Um, yep, go for it.
Okey-doke. I would like to read the last part that I wrote, the last question that you, in 6 months' time or in the future. I am happier than I've ever been in my entire life. I'm abundant. My life feels full and I'm thriving. Life is truly wonderful. Life is a blessing. Life is bright and warm. And I feel like a child full of curiosity and wonder. Life feels magical.
Mm.
And it's really cool. I feel like all the work that I've been doing religiously over the past few years on myself, I feel like I have gone back into my childhood, and what I didn't get in my childhood, I've been able to provide for myself the safety, the nurturing, the self care, and everything. To now to be that child and to be full of wonder in a safe world rather than an unsafe world. It's pretty cool.
I love that. I love that. That's so beautiful, Saskia. I love that. And it is that just showing up and doing the work, isn't it?
Mm.
I, I did some inner child work with what is it, an internal family systems coach a few weeks ago. And I was talking to my younger self that I haven't talked to for a while. And at first I was like, oh, okay, he's going to be sad. And he came into my life and he was like, look at all the things you're doing. You just got married to this amazing person. It's like, oh my God, we drive a BMW. We live in this nice house. It's like, holy crap. And I was like, oh my God, all that work over all those years, healing, doing the things I needed to do. And it's like, you heal it from showing up and just continuously doing it. And it sounds like you're doing the same thing. And I love the energy of what you wrote. It had such a fluency to it, but also just a beautiful energy. So yeah, keep reading that every day, keep feeling into it,
Mm.
and yeah, let us know how you go with it.
Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. All right, next up we've got Dineshi, and then we've got iPhone, but I'm not sure what the name is there, but that's okay. The one who's got the video on. Yeah, go for it, Dineshi.
Um, it was kind of helpful today with the the stories. Is that like I was kind of thinking the story is kind of like a belief as well, because if you think you can't do something, you probably can't. But if you think you can, you could, isn't it?
A lot of it does come down to it, and a, a lot of it comes down to whether if you think you can, you'll at least try. You know, if you don't think you can, you'll probably make an excuse and put it off until the time passes. But if you think you can, you're more likely to give it a good red hot crack. Doesn't mean that if you jump, like, you know, if I believe I can jump off a building and flap my wings and fly, it's going to work. But, you know, if we do believe that we can, we will give it a good try and we're going to make progress of some kind.
Uh, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. And congratulations on getting those two assessments on. That's awesome.
Thanks. Cheers.
Amazing. Amazing. Good to see you again, Dineshi, on here.
Likewise.
Mhm. All right, beautiful. Next up, we have iPhone, but I'm not sure what your name is. The lady who's got her camera on. If you'd like to unmute yourself, yeah, go for it.
Hi, so my name is Anne Charles. It's my first time here.
Welcome.
Um, Thank you, David. It's uh, my words are not coming out, but I think what it is that I was really sleepy, and that's being honest. I was just like, I was struggling to do it, but I'm really glad I did it, and I showed up. Um, and I love the space where not only the exercise is. I think that's sort of will sink into me a little bit, sort of will take my time. But I really liked what I think it was Rose and Vicky shared, and
Mm,
that third person, Dineshi, maybe.
yep.
I think that's great because that's it gives you like sort of more motivation when you see other people doing really well, and it makes you feel more sort of empowers you to do it as well. So
Yeah.
I think I'm so glad I did it, and I'm sure I'm gonna try and show up and then see how I go.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming. Thanks for bringing some great energy to the call. A lot of the time, you know, it is that great energy that and I truly do believe we become what we surround ourselves with. We become like the five people that we spend the most time with, and that's energetically and emotionally. And I spend a lot of time with a guy who's actually not no longer with us. His name is Bob Proctor, but I spend, you know, 20 minutes or 30 minutes with him every day. So definitely I love the energy on these calls and hope that it uplifts other people as well. So thanks for coming, and I'm glad to hear that you found it beneficial.
Thank you so much, David. It's been really, really good. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. All right, next up we have VR and then we have Rose. So VR, if you want to unmute yourself, you can share a takeaway, an insight, or even ask a question. And if you don't want to unmute yourself, that's completely fine as well. All right, no worries, VR. We'll move on to Rose and then we've got Brittany. Rose, go for it.
Hi, David.
Hello, you're not the last one this time.
Yeah. That's all right. Yeah, I thought the session was really helpful. Definitely need to change my story, and it's it's something I'm aware of, but it's really good to keep practicing that, doing exercises and practicing, and I've been trying to brainwash myself as well, listening to a lot of Oprah and and other motivational speakers, and also trying some sleep hypnosis. Marissa Peer, telling me how wonderful I am. How I can,
Beautiful.
what does she say? I'm a magnificent manifester. I'm like, yes. So I've got to listen to that as I'm falling asleep. So
Yeah.
hopefully it's all I do feel like it's changing, baby steps, but I think it is sort of shifting things because it reminds me of something you said the other week. It's like I think it's just shifting your thought patterns when you react in the moment, and then you think, oh, that's actually a slightly different way I reacted compared to maybe different thoughts pop in your head. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that. And it sounds like you're surrounding yourself with some very motivational voices, which is
Yeah.
very, very important. I always like to think of it this way. When things aren't going the way that we want, we're most likely speaking to ourselves in a negative nature, which is just human nature to do so. But
Mm.
also, it's probably a reflection of all the things that are around us in our environment. We can look at our room and it doesn't look how we want. We look at our car, it's not the kind of car. It's constantly feedback to us that things aren't going the way that we want. So when we're in that situation, upping that positive influence and then listening to it in multiple different things. Like I always listen to it in my car. And I remember when I was driving my really old beat up Holden Commodore that I pretty much nearly had to pay someone to take. I was listening to these amazing things. So I'd be in the car and I'd forget that what car I was driving, and I'd be sometimes halfway through it feel like I'm driving the car I wanted to be driving, and it kind of those voices override what's happening in your life, and then suddenly like you had I'm a amazing manifester. It's like that voice becomes so loud and so energetic within you, and once that grabs a hold, that's when those little shifts and those little changes, and they just keep building. So whatever you're doing, Rose, just keep doing it.
Thanks, David.
No worries. You're so welcome. Good to see you again.
You too.
All right, next up we have Brittany, then we have Sue. Go for it, Brittany.
Hello, everyone. I actually had a question. I know that on our sessions, like when we talk about goals, we're usually focused on one goal. Now, if there's another goal that's been drawing our attention or seems more important, what I wanted to know is, do we finish our existing goal like first, or do we start working on a new goal?
Yeah, so there's no one answer to this. My thoughts on it are this. If you don't finish the previous goal, you've just formed the habit of not finishing a goal. Someone once said to me, it's like, if you want to earn more money, you have to build the habit of making more money. If you want to be if you want to be the kind of person who sets and achieves goals, you have to set and finish the goal. Otherwise, if you're always jumping between different goals and you never finally finish one, you now have built the habit of not finishing what you started. So for me, I like to think of it as this. It's my mission, it's my most important thing, and everything else is a distraction. I love the saying, all true visions will be tested for authenticity. And for me, that's what goals are. They're the universe saying to you, do you really want it? Are you really who you say you are? Are you really going to not eat that chocolate cake? Come on. You can eat it. You can go do this. So for me, I like to think it as the universe is testing me to see if I'm really serious about going after what I said I was going to go after.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. And also, when you leave things unfinished in your mind, in your physical reality, they're also unfinished in your mind. And then that's like you've got another rock. You've got like another thing that's gonna constantly be on your mind. Remember, you didn't finish that thing. You got to finish that thing. Remember that course you didn't finish. You said you were going to finish it. And even when you go into the next goal, your mind is still, it wants that resolution. It's like when you leave a relationship and you never find out why it ended, and you really struggle after it because you don't get that closure. You don't understand what happened. For me, if I've got a goal, I need a really damn good reason not to go after it or finish it. Otherwise, I'm forming the habit of setting and not finishing goals. And that's not a good thing. So yeah, I hope that answers it. I know it might sound harsh and not like the right answer, but I'm kind of everything I've learned and studied kind of tells me that that is the truth. And every time I've ever tried to switch goals between, I've never been able to fully focus on the next one anyway. The other one's still in the back of my mind as incomplete. That could just be me as well. So that's why I said there's no one answer for this. So hopefully that perspective is helpful. Yep. All right. No worries then. All right. Last but not least, we have Sue. Sue, I think she's paused. Oh, Sue, you there? Seems to be
Hello,
Paul.
can you hear me?
Yep. Yep, go for it.
1 second. I don't know why. Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Um, yes, so the question, the exercise really good that to telling the story exercise. Lately I find it myself like um I started to getting notice um that if I have how to say negative thought or negative kind of like opinion on myself or things happening, then I noticed that I'm picking up a lot faster than past times. I find it like, oh, it's actually this thought. And from that, I don't know, I haven't taken any action on it, but it's just that I'm picking that a lot faster. Um, yeah, and I like that it is starting to get noticed. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And that's kind of I'm not sure if you're aware of the four stages of consciousness when you're making a change, but there's four steps. The first one is that you're unconsciously incompetent, which means you don't even know that you don't know. So it's like, for instance, until someone, if you were in a tribe out in the middle of nowhere and someone rode past you on a bike and you'd never seen a
Yeah.
bike before, that person had no idea that they didn't know how to ride a bike. You know, they'd never seen one. They didn't even know that they didn't know. What you're in right now is the second step, which is where you're becoming consciously like, or you're probably on the second one, then you become consciously incompetent, which is where you know that you can't do it. So as soon as that person sees the bike and realizes they don't know how to ride it, they're now consciously, because they're aware there's a bike. In this situation, you first became consciously like, hang on, I'm having these thoughts and I can't stop them. Then the third step is you become consciously competent, which is you're able to notice, hey, that's just a thought. And on purpose, you're able to change it and shift it with conscious effort. What happens at the last one is you become unconsciously competent, which means you'll have a thought come up and you won't even have to do anything. You'll just be like, oh no, that doesn't help me, and you just move on to the next one. Now, what I want to think about is, and it won't take any effort at all. So you've gone through the first three stages and you're like getting towards the fourth one, which is really cool.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. And I think I'm getting on the second round reading of the book that you mentioned because like that, I need to reread.
Look, Sue, it's not just you. The first time I read that book, I was like, what the hell is this? I don't understand it. And there's another book after that that I recommend for a lot of people. And that one, I literally, the first three chapters, I had to read them like 10 times before I could understand like even a quarter of it. It was ridiculous. But yes, it's a great book, that one. So keep going with it. The more you understand of it, the better things get. I can tell you that.
Cool, cool. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks so much for coming along tonight, guys. Everyone bringing great energy, some great comments, great questions as well. Uh, yeah, I really hope that everyone got something out of it. The books are The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, one of my favorite books. I've read it probably 10 times, listened to it on audiobook about 20 times at least. It's like one of the books I just constantly listen to over and over again. And when he says science of getting rich, it is, yes, about money, but also about richness of life and experience. So it's about being abundant. It's actually the book that inspired the movie and the series of books called The Secret. Rhonda Byrne actually read that book, and that was what inspired the movie The Secret. So it's the OG, written in 1910, and it's still as relevant today as it was back then, which is crazy. So it stood the test of time. And the other book, I'm hesitant to recommend it because it is hard to read, but very, very prolific. So it's a real thinker. It's called The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. So if you wanted to read that, um, and if you do buy that one, buy the one that it's like a yellow cover with red on it, and it's The Power of Awareness, but it's also got his other book, Awakened Imagination, as like a bonus in it. I think it's the main one that you can buy. So yeah, it's got The Power of Awareness and Awakened Imagination by Neville Goddard in one book, which is the one that I read. But yeah. All right, guys, I will let you all get on with your Monday night. Thanks for bringing the energy. Thanks for bringing I don't know, just your time and effort. I really do appreciate it. I love what I do. But if you guys weren't here, I'd just be on a call by myself and it wouldn't really be as fulfilling for me. So thank you for being here, and I hope you have a great week. If anything came up for you that you want to reach out and chat to me one to one, please let me know. Other than that, have a great week, guys. All
Thank
right.
you.
No worries.
No,
See you guys.
bye. See, I'm going to go find a geocache and then drive home.